Documenting income for a W-2 borrower. Generally speaking, depending on your employer, I may be able to verify this information electronically, requiring nothing on your behalf. However, if I am unable to do so because your employer doesn't provide that type of service, we will likely need your most recent W-2 and your last 3 pay stubs. Documenting variable income. If you receive bonus, commission, overtime, etc., this is variable income. The underwriters are going to want to see continuity of this income. So if you have a 2-year history of receiving this income and the income is not declining by more than 20% one year to the next, we should be able to use this income, and we will use a 2-year average of that income. It's important to understand that, because if you earned $5,000 last year and $15,000 this year, we're not going to use the $15,000 as the average income. We're going to add the 2 years together, divide it by 2, and that is the income that we will use to qualify your loan. Now, if your income stream has changed and you were previously receiving a bonus and you are now receiving a commission, for example, let's say you're a car salesman and you transferred and went to a new company. The old company paid you a bonus when you sold cars, and the new company pays you a commission when you sell cars. This is a different income stream, and it is highly possible an underwriter may not allow us to utilize that income to qualify you. Documenting self-employment income. Now, when it comes to documenting self-employed income, this is where it gets the most tricky, potentially. Now, you can file as a Schedule C, or you can file on a Schedule E as a partner, S-Corp, limited liability, etc. So depending on the type of forms that you file or how you file a tax return will dictate what documentation we need to see in order to qualify you. More than likely, we're going to need the last 2 years of your tax returns. If you have not completed your most recent year of tax returns, we will need the 2 most recent completed tax returns. For example, you would send 21 and 22. And if you haven't done 23 and 24, you'll probably need to make sure that we have a copy of a profit and loss for those 2 years. And if any money is due and payable to the IRS as like a payment agreement, we'll need to make sure we see that. If, however, you file a partnership or an LLC or an S-Corp, something along those lines, not only do we need your personal tax returns, we will also need the business tax returns. Again, the 2 most recent filed years. And what we're going to be looking for there is your K-1s. Okay, so make sure you submit all schedules of all pages of those business returns. We want to see what your percent ownership is of these corporations and how much these corporations are paying you and what the liquidity is of the company itself.